Welcome to the Tuning In podcast, where we talk alignment, intuition, and our internal guidance system. We cover woo-woo topics in an approachable and practical way. I'm your host, Dana Evans of Alignful.com. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tuning In podcast. Welcome back to me and welcome back to you. I took last week off to enjoy the holidays and it was wonderful. I hope you all had a wonderful last couple weeks of 2019 and a good start to 2020. That is what we're talking about on this week's episode. And pardon me, I have a bit of a cold. When I get a cold, especially in a timing like this, right at the end of one year and the start of another, I decide to look at it as an energetic cleanse. Instead of saying, what did I do wrong? Why did I get sick? What's wrong with me? I need to get better. This is bad. I instead say, all right, clearly my body is purging, releasing something that it doesn't need and that will not serve me as I move into the new year. So I allow it. I also have a ton of practices and tools that I use when I'm sick. I make wellness shots that have raw garlic and apple cider vinegar in them. I make turmeric tonic to have in the morning and night. I make vegetable broth, I drink soup and bone broth, so I take very good care of myself and I rest a lot. And in fact, today it's 11:15 and I'm actually finishing up work. I've been working since 7 a.m. and I'll be done working at noon so that I can allow myself time to rest. Anyway, that's me. I hope you're well. And without further ado, I would like to jump into this week's episode, which is all about 2020 and how I was feeling a little resistant to all of this work and intensity that everyone was putting into entering this new year. Without further ado, here's the episode. Happy Woo Woo Wednesday, my friends. I hope you're doing so well. It is now, when you listen to this, January 8th of 2020. My God, it's a new decade. Are you sick of hearing that? Like, I get it. It's a new decade. I didn't feel this way in 2010. I didn't freak out in 2010 about it being a new decade and me needing to get my life together. I don't know about you, but the accounts and media and information that I surround myself with is really pretty obsessed with recapping 2019 and setting intentions and goals and making 2020 your best year yet. This year, I am just not jiving with that. In fact, earlier in December, I kind of bought in and I'm like, okay, I have to recap 2019 and I have to write down all my lessons and everything I've learned and what I did well and what I didn't do well and what I'm proud of. And then I have to plan for 2020 and I have to map out every single month and my travel and my intentions and my goals. Oh, and I never did it fully. And for me, if I don't do something, it's because it doesn't feel aligned with my desires. And it usually means that I'm not doing it or I'm wanting to do it based on external expectations. Now, listen, I think recapping a year is a wonderful plan. In fact, I have a guide that I have sent out every past year to my newsletter people all about recapping your year. But just because it's a wonderful practice, it doesn't mean you have to do it every time. And I know that is going to go against the common perspective. And I don't care. That's fine. I truly believe that if it is aligned for you to do this, then you will feel inspired to do it. And if it's not, goodness, you do not need another reason to feel badly about yourself. Life is life, and we're pretty hard on ourselves. And a time of year when you're already a bit busy and you're stressing and overwhelmed and your schedule's completely different, it may not be aligned for you to do this massive recap of the year and this planning for the next year. In particular, it really felt to me that this whole new decade thing was putting massive pressure on myself and other people, in that there was this push to, okay, it's a new decade. What are you doing with your life? How are you going to be better this year? How are you going to apply those lessons and not make the same mistakes next year? How are you going to make this your best year ever and live your life full out? Listen, again, these are fine, wonderful practices and questions to contemplate. And it's okay if you don't sit down and spend an entire day mapping out your 2020 and making it the best year yet. In fact, it's also okay if 2020 isn't your best year and if your goal is to just enjoy your year. Every year doesn't have to be this intensely focused betterment of self. Once again, against common perspective and opinion, but what do you want? Okay? That's really the question you should be asking yourself. What do you want? What is inspiring you for this year? I didn't sit down and write a bunch of 2020 goals and all of that, but I am clear on a couple of things, and clarity, as we know, is very helpful. Here's what I'm clear on, and this might help you think a little bit. I want to take dance classes. That brings me a lot of joy. It's something that's been on my mind for a while. And so I actually sat down and found a studio in Denver that offers hip hop dance classes. So that's something I'm going to do. I'm not setting a number that I have to accomplish for my fitness goals, because I don't have fitness goals ever, but it's something that's going to light me up. Another thing, in my business, I'm focusing on consistency. So we have the podcast, we have the newsletter, we're going to have a month in review series, and I'm launching and relaunching my Align in 5 membership. That is where I want to put my energy and attention. And that's where you're going to receive the most from me. Other things is I would like to do a little more travel that's for fun, not just for business. And I would like to focus my energy and work no more than 6 hours a day. Those are some of my things that I'm really clear on for 2020. It didn't come from this massive worksheet and PDF, but it came from this inner spark, this inner knowing within me that also comes from my own understanding and conversation with myself. And just like we talk about, I swear, every episode, knowing thyself, listening, tuning in, checking in with yourself is really going to be the most valuable tool that you have. I love that so many people have created these beautiful guides to help you recap your year, help you think creatively about what you truly want in life. I think that work is extremely important. And I also believe that it's not 100% necessary if you're constantly checking in and you have a conversation going on with yourself. Or rather, it takes less time and less energy to do all of that outward work if you've already done the inner work. And we know too that doing the outward work is only as valuable as your understanding of why you're choosing to do it, what's motivating you. Like I said, I've done my years in review and my planning and mapping out in the past. I think it's a wonderful practice, but this year it wasn't aligned. And so I honored that, and I did not fall into the guilt or resistance to what I thought I should be doing because everyone else is doing it. And instead, I listened to myself, to that inner knowing. In fact, I actually spent some time asking my inner voice about why I was resisting doing my 2019 full review and a 2020 planning. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share what I heard from my inner voice. You see, this is always a tool that we have to tap into. If you haven't done this before, if you don't know how to do it, I do offer inner voice coaching sessions. So reach out to me and we can schedule that, because this tool is beyond valuable. I'm able to notice what's going on externally and then check in internally, right, with my soul, with my higher self, and find out why I'm feeling misaligned. So here is an excerpt from my inner voice. So I basically asked my inner voice if I'm doing something wrong by not recapping 2019 and planning for 2020, and if I am not playing all out. And my inner voice responded, "It is not yours. You are here to serve and be, and to be is to serve. It is not for you to be there for all that is. It is not necessary for your path, for you are here right now, and right now is all you need. This is patience for you." So patience is my word of the year from my inner voice, so I was also asking what that meant. It continued on, "You needn't worry about growth, for that is already within you. You are here to be here. You are here to guide and to help and heal and expand beyond all you know. But that is not for you to grow, for growth is within you." I then reflected to my inner voice. So again, this is a conversation with yourself. I said, "I think I'm observing everyone else's desire to grow and be better and to play all out, so I don't waste my life." And my inner voice responded, "That is not yours. Yours is here right now in the moment. You are this life. You are what you need to be. That's why patience is the key. For everything you are will be, and you are here now. It is not up to you to demand to grow, for we are here to show and guide so you can guide as well as be. You needn't worry about these things, for they are not yours. They are not your path. You can just be. You worry and plan and want to worry and want to plan, and yet you are not doing it. Why? Because it is not for you. You feel and absorb that of all the others that want and need this in their lives, but you do not now, not now. You can just be here. You can breathe. You can love. You can feel. You can know that this is for you. This path is the right one always. You don't have to be or do or plan or expand, because that is happening within you already. It is different, yes, but it is okay, for you can be every day. You have the truth, you have the power, you have the being that will allow you to grow. You don't have to place meaning upon the words, upon the idea of what it will be or what it won't be. All you have to do is be and allow and let go and breathe. The pressure is so much for you. It's so much it keeps you from being you and blocks your own flow. This channel, for all you know. You block it from the pressure, from the external, from the outside in. It is not yours. You don't need it. You have it. You are it. This is news to you, you know. You want to be able to grow and show everything. But that won't happen with worry and fear and doubt. Trust. Trust that you are here. Trust that you are enough and full and complete and able to share from that deep space within you. The mind will speak, and that is okay. But when you share from within, that's how you can show the way. You share with joy, you share with light, you share with a knowing that this is right. You needn't move fast or far. All you need is to be who you are. You are loved. You are complete. You are absolutely a treat. We know this rhyming is divine. You can have it any time. When you go within, you can trust and win, for we are always here. We know you fear this side of you. You doubt if it is really true. But there's more to access and more that you know if you are willing to go. Okay. Kind of fun, right? This is what it's like when I check in with my inner voice. This is what I mean. Those words kind of flow out of me, and it's really calming and enjoyable to experience. And I want you to experience that as well. You might want to rewind and listen to that again because it's a kind of different vibration and vibe altogether of this conversation. I went from this feeling of there's all that is expected of me, and I'm feeling all this pressure from the outside to do and be better and be more and try harder and not waste my life, right? But then when I went inward, I found that my presence is way more important than the worrying and the fear and the planning so far in advance. But if I can be present, if I can show up every day, if I can be mindful and connected, not just to myself, right, but to everyone around me, then I can truly serve in the way that I desire. And I want that for you. Instead of being stuck this year in what is expected of you, what if you focused your attention on what is right for you? What is right for you? So that's shifting the way you operate from an outside in way to an inside out way. I believe the true way to do this is by connecting inward, by tapping in, by finding moments of quiet and peace and listening to your body, listening to your heart, and allowing it to help guide you toward what is right for you. This is way easier said than done, indeed. But the more you offer, the more you ask yourself, the more you check in with your inner voice, the more you're going to build that trust, not just in your body and heart, right? Trusting that the voice will come out and share with you, but also trusting in your path and what's going on for you. You'll be able to trust things like whether or not it's right to do a year in review and a massive planning for the next cycle, or whether it's best for you to sit in quiet contemplation and slow down. You'll really be able to learn even something as simple as what should I order off the menu? What am I guided toward? So this is what I want 2020 to look like. For me, yes. But I offer this to you. What if in 2020 you released all those external expectations, the pressure that you allow others to put on you? And what if you stepped fully into being more of yourself? What if you could truly be who you are and become who you want to be? Instead of being stuck being, living for someone or something else. What if 2020 could be the year of you? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that sound like? What actions would you take? What thoughts would you think? How would you respond to expectations or to friends and family and loved ones? Even at your job, how would you respond? How would you treat your body and care for yourself if you're being fully, authentically you? What does that mean? And that is something that you can contemplate and feel. And I highly recommend you rewind and re-listen to my session with my inner voice, because I highly doubt it is just for me. These messages tend to be more universal, and if you feel something as you're listening to it, it may be your inner voice also speaking to you. Here's to you, and here's to 2020, sending you so much love, and I will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tuning In podcast. As always, if this would resonate with anyone you know, please share the episode. You can follow along with my journey on Instagram at Dana_Evans, or find me on my website at alignful.com.